Hello friends, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back. Today I will try to explain you about the Caterpillar machine. This machine rated current is 150 kVA. That is almost 120 kilowatt. I am going to replace the PowerWizard 1.1 by DeepSea 4520 MK2. Why I am going to replace it? Because the over voltage protection was not working. I connected the Cat 80. I tried to make setting, but there was no option. There was no option to control the over voltage protection, so I finally decided to replace it because deep sea is simple and less price. That's why. Here I am going to start the generator, and the generator voltage is around 338. That is almost 340 voltage. See this line to line 340 voltage and line to neutral is almost 220 voltage. I connected my multimeter because the EMCP display is not clear, so I connect the voltmeter. Here I fix the new AVR automatic voltage regulator. This STAB mean voltage stabilizer variable. If there is you need any fine voltage stabilization, you can clockwise and anti-clock to adjust the minor voltage. And the other point here writing volt, this you can increase it in too much. See, I'm going to increase the voltage. It's going up to the 500 voltage and generator doesn't stop. There is no over voltage protection. In this case we can damage our load, so to protect our load I decide to replace it. Here I will tell you my old AVR card. This old AVR card is also burned. Here in old AVR card you see the left side there is selection for frequency. If you can use as a 60 hertz, you have to select this arrow button on 60 hertz point 3. If you need to 50 hertz, this arrow now showing 0, you have to put arrow on the 0, so it will be shifted to the 50 hertz. Only this is the setting for 50 hertz and 60 hertz frequency in AVR card. Now I already replaced the controller. I fixed deep sea. As I show you before, this Caterpillar machine CP module there was no safety for over voltage, and my AVR card was burned, and EMCP module, as I told you, there was no over voltage protection. So I decided to replace it with the deep sea. Deep sea is very cheap. If you compare with the EMCP module, its cost is very less. See, it is 4520 MK2 EMF. And this all wiring is still I didn't secure, just to show you the purpose of this wirings. I have diagram. I will share my diagram and I will tell you one by one about all these cables. And here this previous one cable connector, by mistake I cut this one. Actually I have to cut this connector. This for Caterpillar Cat 80 tool. By mistake I cut this one. For example, this one is the ground cable, battery negative. If you are going to replace, you have to keep only these 3 cables and upside 4 cables. These 4 cables. So total how much? 7 cables you need only. This was the 37 pin male female connector. That is the main input and output connector. I am going to explain you in this video. This kind of information nobody will tell you on the YouTube, but I am going to explain you just for your knowledge. Here is the pin number 1 ground and pin 9 for charging alternator, pin 15 coolant level, pin 22 for 5 volt, 28 oil pressure, 23 fuel crank, and all the pin you can read. And one battery positive. So total 8 cable you need. Fuel control relay and this engine crank relay. Now first of all I will switch on my machine and I will show you the configuration and the voltage output. Then I will tell you the details. Here is its stop mode. Let's start this 380 voltage. You can see. And one of my YouTube subscriber he asked me about the 50 hertz and 60 hertz setting. In AVR card, my AVR card is this type. Maybe your AVR card is different, but here is the setting. You see, for 50 hertz, this arrow you need on 50, and for 60 hertz you have to put on number 3. So we will come back again. I will show you the parameters. For edit mode, you have to press red and auto button together. If you want to out from edit mode, long press stop button. Again, press together, it's coming in the setting. If you want to edit some parameter, I will show, for example, edit mode. If you want to increase the contrast, simply one press, and now with the plus button you can increase and with the minus you can decrease, and once short click it's validate the setting. Now long press out. Now one by one I will show you the parameters. If you press this arrow button, it will switch hundreds. For example, now it's 101. See, now 100 jump 201, 301. But if you want to see what is inside 101, press this plus button. There are so many parameters and I cannot tell one by one. Only you see the settings. This text mode mean if you make it off, here you will not see any writing. This 500 series, this timer page, very important page. These are the important parameter. Note down. In this generator there are so many safeties, especially over voltage, under voltage, over frequency, under frequency, battery charging, over temperature, engine over temperature, low oil pressure. See all this, what is this one? Here is writing, you only enable text enable. See, this is the high engine high temperature and this low oil pressure. This engine high temperature, we don't have fuel level sender. I am making fast. If you need to see it, you can repeat the video or you can reduce the speed just to save your time. I want to share my knowledge, whatever I have. I want to share with you. If you have any doubt, any query, you can ask in comment section. There are so many parameters. You have to same, you can copy with this my setting. Finish. Now how to out from the menu? Long press. you will be out. Now I will tell you about the wirings. I will switch off the breaker. See, it's simple. Number one, battery negative. Number two, battery positive. It's same in all the deep sea modules. Number three is fuel control relay coming here to energize this relay. Fuel control relay. And number four, number four cable for starter motor, crank relay. When we will apply signal for start, the power is coming here to the engine crank relay, and then by this cable it will go to the starter motor. Only this much is enough. 1 2 3 4. And here number 11, you see here diagram number 11. I will also share on my video. This number 11 coming from the pressure, engine oil pressure. As I told you, engine oil pressure I will show you first of all. See, here is engine oil pressure. Inside have three cables. Two input and one is output. In the display I will mention sensors pin 1 and 2, 3. These three pins I will tell you. And this number 11 is output coming inside the controller. Then number 12, pin number 12 for engine coolant temperature. Engine coolant temperature coming from engine coolant temperature. This number 12, I told you 10 is empty, 11 for engine oil pressure, and number 12 for engine temperature, engine coolant temperature. And number 16, negative for emergency stop. See, here is emergency stop. I until now didn't connect this negative for emergency. This negative will come here, one end, and the other end will come here. So these two pins connector from number 1 to number 20 is finished. Only this much wiring you need. Very simple wiring. And here is number 21, 22, 23 and 24. See here number 21, 23, 24. Simply this one is the input. Input of the controller showing the voltage taping. This number 21, 22, 23 and 24 is coming from the generator breaker, and it is the voltage sensing for the module. 24 is the neutral, 21, 22, 23 is the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You see here it's coming from the breaker. So 21, 22, 23, 24 clear. It's the AC input sensing for the controller. Now remaining 29, 30, 31, 32. I will show you on the diagram. You look here, 29, 30, 31 and 32. This coming from the city coil current transformer sensing the load on the breaker. Here is a city coil, this sensing, see this wiring downside going, this connector, this for city coil coming here. I hope you enjoy the video and you learn something. If you learn something, hit like button and subscribe the channel, and see you inshallah next video. Thank you so much.